video. So I'm just going to stay in my little jammies. They're like, well, fluffy, you can get them in Primark, obviously Primark's jammies are the best. Let's just get into these questions. So I just put up a poll on my Instagram like I normally do and let people like just ask whatever they wanted to ask. So this, I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can because I'm scared that like something's going to blow up because that plug socket is really dodgy, like it's making pure weird noises and all that. So we'll just go on to our first question. Can you actually tell that I tried to make it cozy? Like I lit that wee wax melt thing and I turned on my wee fairy lights and all that, and I'm obviously sitting in my jammy still. That's just because I'm too lazy to change. But it goes with the vibe, and I was going to get a wee cup of tea but I'm sticking to water because I don't know why, but I can't make good tea. The only tea that I like really is the one that Daniel makes, but I'm not going to tell him that. Right, okay, so the first one I got was favourite memory from the summer. Okay, oh no, it's going to be so hard. So I'm kind of tempted to say transmit, but I don't think that counts because transmit was obviously delayed till September, so I'm not going to count that to make it easier for myself. And then like the actual summer, that kind of narrows it down for me. Right, so out of the actual summer, my favourite, was it memory? Yeah, favourite memory from summer. Favourite memory from summer was probably when I was over in Ireland and we were at Orlambrona's and my cousin Podge came up and Orlambrona's friends came over, and I obviously hadn't seen them in like a year because of like COVID and all that, so it's been the longest time ever that I'd never went without seeing my cousins, and I got to see them and we like all of them got together and we just had like a wee kind of mini party and some drinks and that, and it was nice back seeing your family and all that, like after a full year. It was genuinely a full year. Next question, right, so I've kind of narrowed them down. So that was like the only question I really got about summer, I'm pretty sure. And then the next one's about like work and uni and blah blah blah. So the next person says, what uni are you at? So the uni that I'm at is UWS, so University West of Scotland, and it's just the Lanarkshire campus, which is only up in Blantyre, so it's like literally 10 minutes up the road from me. So I still live in my house and all that. I wasn't like one of the people to move out, which I don't know if I'm happy about or not. No, I'm only joking. Of course I'm happy about it because I love my room and I don't have enough money to move out or pay bills or do any of that stuff, especially with like the prices of accommodation nowadays. Like it's unreal. Another person says, what are you studying at uni? So I'm actually doing sports and exercise science, right? I know, I'm a little scientist, but I actually thought it was more sports and science and it's not. So I'm more like doing that stuff in a lab and working like on like oxygen uptake and stuff like that. That's what we were just doing now anyways. So we were just kind of like, you go through everything, so you learn about all different parts of the body. So we done like an introduction to sports science, we done like academic skills, which you need for like loads and loads of uni courses, so probably everybody's done that. It's just like learning to write essays and all that. It's like it was the first bit of uni and I was like, this is so bad, like if the rest of the uni continues like this, I don't know if I can do it. But it was just because it was the academic skills module. Right now I'm doing introduction to anatomy, so we're learning about like the cardiovascular system and other stuff like that. Most of it is online right now, but it's getting like more and more in real life, like more and more. So at the start I was only going into uni like once every 2 or 3 weeks. Now I'm going in once every week, and then I also can go in for a practical, like sometimes they have a practical. So I actually went to the Emirates Arena in Glasgow. It happened to be the day that the Celtic was playing a game, so it was absolutely mobbed because obviously it's right beside Celtic Park. So yeah, went there and ran the bleep test for a wee experiment for our course. The next question we've got is, where do you work? So I take it you mean like in a part-time job. So I just got a new job because I had worked in a cafe down the road and it wasn't the best. At the time I was like, do you know what, this is like, I'm going to do it anyway because it's better than nothing. But now that I've got a proper good job, I'm like, why did I even bother ever doing that? Like, and the money was terrible as well. It was like £5 an hour and I was like 18 and that's illegal. So the job I've got now is working in a gas station or like a garage, whatever is what I call it, and it's so good. Like you get so much responsibility and everything because you're actually working in there on your own. What do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? Right, so I've not really made myself up like a proper like 5-year plan, but basically when I get to 3rd year of uni, I'm in my 1st year, so when I get to my 3rd year of uni you get the option to study abroad, and I really wanted to do that because obviously we've been stuck in our houses for ages because of COVID, and I mean even before COVID I really wanted to study abroad, just to kind of like, it's like a once in a lifetime experience. And it's like you can go, I'm pretty sure you can go for like a semester or you can go for a year, and I wanted to go for a year. And originally I wanted to go to like America and study in New York, but I looked into the course that I'm doing and they don't offer anywhere in New York. They offer like Michigan or somewhere, I don't even know where that is, but it's somewhere in America. I think that's the place, I cannot remember, but somewhere like that, and I was just like that, no, that's like in the middle of nowhere. So the other places they offered were like Spain and Italy and all that, and I was like, do you know what, I've never been to Italy, and obviously my mum's actually been learning Italian for a few years now. She's like, not very good at it, but oh, just ignore that. So obviously she'd love to come and visit Italy as well, so if I moved over there for a year and started studying there, I could start learning Italian as well, and then she could come over and like, she'd love it over there as well because she'd like obviously be able to like communicate with people. It's either that or basically, because I really want a car or a van, right, but I'm kind of like, if I don't go on that, because it's like 10 grand or something to go on a year abroad, and I was like plus that and like all your expenses for like your apartment and that, it's so much money, and in 2 years I don't think I'll have that. Like I'm sitting at like not even a grand right now. I could use that money and put it to something that I've been wanting to do for ages, and for ages and ages and ages I've been wanting to get like a van and convert it into like, so like have a wee bed in the back and like a wee like kitchen area, like a wee like wee storage bits, and like you see them all over TikTok all the time. And way before like the start of lockdown I was like, oh my god, I want to do this, and then I started seeing more and more people older than me doing it, and I was like, I've got to do it, like I need to. This next question actually makes me want to cry so badly. It's when's your prom? So basically I had prom all planned out. It's meant to be 25th of November. I had actually quite a good amount of people going, but basically I ended up having to cancel it because the numbers fell below 50, and that was the minimum for the hall that I had booked out. So obviously I had started by making like an Instagram account and getting like everybody from my school to like vote on polls and stuff like that, and everybody did, and they were all very good about it, and they were all like, yes, like I'm down for prom and everything, and I was like, that's perfect. And at the start there was originally like nearly 100 people saying like, yes, like let's do this and everything, and then as time went on, a few people here and a few people there dropped out, and then it was like maybe somebody's birthday here, and then somebody was on holiday, or somebody had moved out to uni and they couldn't get like a train down or whatever, and like that's understandable, it's fine, but it was just really unfortunate that the numbers fell below 50 and that like we couldn't continue with it because I had already paid my £250 deposit, and so I don't get that back, and like it's not, it was an unrefundable deposit. So I've just like lost £250, but they actually were paying the money into my bank account, so I refunded them all 100% of their money because I'm just a nice person. But I've lost loads of money from that, so a few people have DM'd me since and been like no, like we can still do this if you just go to a different hall and it'll just be like one for less people. But to be honest, I'm just not willing to do it. Like £250 is a lot, like that's like a full month wages. It wasn't even the money that I was, like losing the money that I was sad about. It was just the fact that like we don't have a prom, because when we left school we got our hoodies and we also paid for our yearbook, and we actually gave the school money for our yearbook, and they never gave our yearbook to us. Like they never came through and said like, here are your yearbooks, or here now, like come and collect them. Like, they literally took her, like, we gave money for her yearbook and we just never received it, and that was a bit heartbreaking. And I was like, I don't really care as much about the yearbook as I do about prom. Like, prom was like a big thing. Like, when else are you going to wear a big massive puffy dress apart from maybe your wedding? Like, never. It's just not going ahead. I'm just going to need to live with that. What are you going to be for Halloween? So I don't know if I want to tell you this because it might have something to do with my next video, and I don't want to spoil it in case somebody, because I'm going to a Halloween party and we're all not telling each other what we're dressing as, we're just turning up, so it's like a massive surprise. And yeah, but I've actually got part of my costume here right now, like sitting in front of me, and I don't actually know about my costume because usually my costumes are like quite good, but this costume's like a bit risky, if you know what I mean. You'll probably end up seeing it in my next video anyways, but yeah, stay tuned for the big reveal. The next question is, can you drive? Obviously I've told you in my past videos that I had one driving test before and I failed it, which was like, was that September? Something into September maybe? I can't remember. And now it's nearly end of October, so it was nearly a month ago, and I actually have a new test booked for in a few weeks, so hopefully I pass that, because if not I'm gonna be depressed. No, I'm only joking. But imagine having to be able to drive, like how cool is that? But even if I do get it, I don't have enough money for a car or a van, which just kills me, because I'll just be sitting here being like, yeah, I've got a driving licence but can't drive in. Somebody just wrote, Christmas markets are cancelled, which is true, because in Glasgow now the Christmas markets, they're usually in George Square, are actually cancelled because of the, what is it even called? It's like COP something. It's for like climate change and everything. But I don't think the Edinburgh ones have been cancelled, so I think I might take a wee trip into Edinburgh and maybe go for a wee Edinburgh overnight or Edinburgh weekend that I could vlog. To go in there to the Christmas markets, because obviously Christmas markets were not a thing last year either because of COVID, and I just feel like it's like, because of like the climate change thing this year, it's only Glasgow that's shut, so we could literally go to like Edinburgh ones or something instead. So it's not that bad, it's a wee bit further away, but it does mean that I could go for a wee overnight. Okay, so the last question that we had was, do you ever think about how different life would be if COVID never happened? And this is something like I actually think about quite a lot, because if COVID just wasn't a thing, prom would have happened, we would have had a Halloween disco last year with the scale, we would have got our yearbooks, I would have been to Iceland, I would have possibly been to New York, and I've just not done any of those things. What else? I would have been to so many open days in like universities and stuff like that, and I would have actually been able to see like what it's like to do university before I picked one, and like which one was maybe better for me than the one I'm in now, even though the one I'm in now is probably my favourite one, so thank God I picked that one. But even at that, like, Yuri's online now, so like I only do go in once a week, and it wasn't like that before COVID. Like, I'd be getting up and going to uni every single day now, so life would be so different if it wasn't like what it is now, which is mad when you think about it, because like everything has changed. I'd have been to one or two weddings, I'd have been to like parties, and I'd been to like, I remember the day that lockdown got announced in Scotland, like in our area, I was ready to go to my first 18th ever, and everybody got up and get ready to go to it, and my mum was dead worried about me because I obviously have asthma, and this was like just coming about. And she was like, no, you can't go, and I was obviously like raging. I was like, why can't I go, like all my friends are going and blah blah blah. But thank God I never got up and get ready to go, because when like my friends got to the party, it ended up being cancelled like last minute, literally like an hour before the party started. It ended up getting cancelled. But like, it's actually so mad that everything has changed. Like, people need to wear masks, and like still, and it's been like 2020 is nearly 2 years ago. Like, what has actually happened in the last 2 years? Like, oh my god, it's actually scary when you think about it. But I'm just going to leave it here. So yeah, thanks for all your questions, and I'll see you in the next video, and I love yous lots. Bye!